Welcome to Executive Conversations. This is the second series, and I'm glad to have with me the CEO of Vivacelle Bio, Mr. Harven DeShield. Harven, thanks for making the time to kind of have a conversation with us. I love what your company is doing. I mean, you're in the minority-based company in the biotech industry. So I just want to really understand your story and see how you guys have started and how you got here. So you could tell us a little bit about your story.
So I'll start with myself. So basically, I started off while I was doing my Ph.D. in biochemistry, and then sort of got involved in working for a business development company also in Buffalo, New York. And from doing that work, I sort of decided in the back of my head that one day I would like to sort of be like a bridge between scientists and the business world. So that was sort of my background. And eventually I went to law school at the end of my PhD and completed both of those degrees. But that's sort of the genesis of why I got interested in biotech and whatnot.
My next question, I was just going to ask you how COVID affected you guys. And I know you guys kind of applied for COVID FDA emergency use for your product. So maybe you want to talk a little bit about the product you guys created and how it actually played a role within the COVID situation.
So it's actually not emergency use that we applied for, just to be factually correct. What we did was apply for compassionate use.
Okay.
Which is different than in order to apply for compassionate use, you have to have an IND filed, which we did. And so we applied for compassionate use. We received that from the US FDA. The product is meant to treat septic shock. Well, it's meant to treat hypovolemia due to septic shock. So hypovolemia is basically when your blood pressure drops to a very unsafe level where, it could be fatal. So it turns out that a lot of COVID patients also, the number is something like 70% of them died from septic shock. That's actually the cause of death. So you can see the link.
So kind of talk to me about what has led to your success.
So in terms of the company, I like to say, call it the three Ps. You have to be very, very persistent, right? Persistently working, perseverance matters a whole lot in terms of just being able to deal with the ups and downs of this business. There's a lot of uncertainties. They call it the Death Valley. That's a famous phrase, Death Valley, where you complete your preclinical trial, and a lot of biotech companies are stuck after they complete preclinical, and they need money to do the clinical trials. So it's a very common occurrence, phenomenon. So perseverance through that, persistently hardworking, and then you have to be able to pivot, right?
So it's Black History Month, so I've got to ask, how has it been, being a minority company in this space? I mean, are there challenges? What have you guys seen throughout your process?
I mean, it's very challenging in terms of the capital financing. It's when you talk about friends and family rounds, some of us don't come from the country club background, let's say, so it's not as easy. We have some friends and what have you, but you need to have friends that have some deep pockets when you're talking about, or at least affiliates that you can play a few rounds of golf with and have them write a big check, right? So that's been a challenge. That was a challenge for us, but we were able to succeed. Took many years doing that, but that's the primary thing. Other thing I would say is also just in terms of recruitment of mentors, having access to people that have been there and done that. Sometimes that can be a challenge for minority groups.
So what advice would you give to someone starting up in the industry? Say, a young kid out there today looking to, start up something in the biotech phase. What would be your advice to them?
Well, I would say really, I think that the most important thing is to be intellectually curious. What I mean by that, along with hard work and being persistent in through tough times, hard work, persistence through tough time, you need to always maintain some intellectual curiosity because it kind of spurs you to sort of seek out new opportunities. The other thing I would say with regards to seeking out new opportunities, you need to be flexible. to leverage your skill set across multiple disciplines.
No, thank you for that. I think that's definitely good advice, and thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. It's good to kind of get this kind of nugget of wisdom from you guys who've actually done the work. You started a company, you've grown it, your company is moving forward. It took some time, but you persevered. So thanks for your time, Harven. I really appreciate this, and I wish you guys the best of luck.